What is going on, everyone? We are back with another music reaction. I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
Together we are
HellaDepraved.
Yes, we are.
And I'm excited. So, Call Me Karizma. Morgan has been somebody that I've followed since, I think release of Monster. So, a couple years at, the least. And has only really recently made it onto our channel via requests during our live stream.
Right.
And that's my bad. We've just had way too much to cover and too many newbies and so on and so forth. So I was excited when people started requesting his music. You've enjoyed it so far, and this is the newest. I think it was released 6 days ago, 7 days ago, something like that. So we're here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we can finally pull him onto the reaction channel.
Right. Alright, so we're going to react to this. If you guys have already seen it, if not, click the link in the description below. Hop on over to All Things Coming Back and check out commentary, reaction, breakdown, comedy channel. What that means, we will pause for any and or all of the above. It's time to slash it up and break it down. This is Call Me Karizma. Fire out. Let's get it. Toe tag. Who's dead?
Yep.
I don't wanna die so young, but maybe I deserve it. Should've been a better person, wondering if it was worth it. I can't undo the things I've done. Probably should've gone to church and instead of sinning as I burst in flames. Am I too burned to save? Someone please put the fire out. Whoa. Where did everybody go? For a minute I was loved, like these LA girls love coke. Oh, now I'm sitting here alone. For a minute I was loved, now they love to see me choke. But I don't wanna die too young.
Morgan has a beautiful
You either
voice.
die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
I personally prefer the villain route. I'm just saying, personally. I really do think that this is something that most people face at some point, is finding a reason to continue for yourself in life, but also finding the tribe that is actually your place. Not the people that just pander and then leave the second that you go into depression, which is what it sounds like this is about, is sort of a return to depression and then the view from that point.
It sounds to me kind of like falling off in terms of when you reach a certain level of fame, and then that fame seems to dwindle.
Or plateau, even.
Right. For whatever reason. A lot of artists go through this where they're like, people used to love me.
Right.
And now nobody really gives a damn. And it's kind of telling as well, because it's like people only love you when you're up.
Right. But I guess that's why I was talking about, like, the depression in terms of, like, relatability for the rest of us that aren't on that fame track. Like, they either love you close to your paycheck, or they love you when you're happy, not when you're low.
Right.
You know, and, he is talking about being that comet in life versus the quiet candle. You know, he is blazing. And that's why he's probably going to die young, is, you live large, you live fast, coke, that kind of things that he's mentioned. You're not given a long life expectancy. There are some people, like Ozzy, that have made it far past that. But on the other hand, most people don't. But it's an interesting setup that he's got here, kind of almost talking from beyond the veil.
Right.
They love to see me choke, but I don't wanna die too young. Hurry up and run from all I deserve it. Should've been a better person. Wondering if it was worth it. I can't undo the things I've done. Probably should've gone to church instead of sinning as I burst in flames. Am I too burned to save? Someone please put the fire out. I took some time to think things over. Why have I not blown up yet? 26 and I'm still sober, but I've done some dumb shit. Slept with girls I never text back. Hook up once and start my jetpack. Fall in love too fucking easy. Hear your name all on my CD. Want my life to have some meaning. Meaning someone has to need me. Meaning being me is meaningless unless I'm happy breathing. Half of me is glad I'm leaving Earth in such a tragic way. The other half is sad to say. I don't wanna die too young. Young, hurry up and run from all.
I really like that. My life is meaningless unless I mean, like, I like the way that he played all the means in there.
Right.
Plus, that's a hard place to get past. Like, your life is not meaningless if you don't mean something to someone else. That's what I was saying earlier. You gotta find a reason that life is worth it
For you.
Yeah. No idea.
Will you stop?
There was a chirping, and it's probably kitten induced. Sorry.
Everybody's gotta find that something worth living for. And sometimes living is just worth living for some people.
Yeah.
And some people are lucky enough to find it relatively easily.
And young.
Like mine was my kids pretty young. I had my son when I think I just turned, right before I turned 21.
Yeah.
So I've had him, around pretty much at this point almost most of my life.
That's true.
But sometimes, and this is the sad part, a lot of people, it takes something drastic, even something close to an almost near death experience
To appreciate life.
to appreciate it. Just throwing some movie I don't know anybody like this, but throwing some media examples. Beth from The Walking Dead. It took her almost dying.
There's a lot of examples
For her to
like that,
realize. Jigsaw.
Yeah, John.
From the Saw series. Just to name a couple.
Honestly, everybody that he tests in that series too.
That managed to live. But no, it's sometimes it does take that for people to realize, no, I really do love life.
Honestly,
And
for
it
me,
sucks,
for a long
but
time,
it takes
A,
that.
I'm too ornery to go out, and B, I had cats dependent on me, and I wasn't going to leave them, I think the other thing, he's talking about basically kind of playing roulette with his life. He was talking about, in the chorus, finger on the loaded gun, so on and so forth. But he's mentioned, like, he's done a lot of stupid shit in his life, and maybe he should have gone to church more, he should have done this, and I don't feel like, for some people, religion helps, but I feel like that's not necessarily dealing with your demons. That's just a way to try and cage them, or
I feel like most religions, it's used as an excuse not to do anything. It doesn't necessarily lead to
Being a
learning
better
to
person.
love who you are
Right.
and love other people and be a better person. But most religions basically have a rule: no self-harm.
Well, I feel like it's to
Or
keep
you're gonna
yourself
go
in
to
line.
hell.
Like I said, caging your demons, and
Right.
he's sitting there smoking in church, and it looks like the priest is almost trying to give him an exorcism. And it's like, for other people, myself included, I felt like they were demonizing me. Not what I was struggling with, but me. I felt like a worse
Right.
person, and had lower confidence in myself. And why am I the way that I am when I was in multiple churches? I've tried it multiple times, guys. But, and also the whole, like, oh, just the way that he's talking about his past. Like, there's a quote, and I forget who it's by, but it was, I believe, a Native American elder that was explaining that life is like a river. Like, you can have your hands in the water and never touch the same water again. And so when it passes, it passes. You will never be able to touch that time again. But you've got to just let it go, because eventually that water will cycle back to that river. Even if your hands are in it, you still won't be touching the same water. But it's a never-ending journey that you're on in life. And you'll fit in at some point. But you can't go back. So you just have to go forward. You have to accept the stuff that you've done that you may consider stupid. Accept that there was a reason for it, whether good or bad. Take it as a learning experience and move ahead,
That was so beautiful and touching.
Yeah, I wasn't that profound. Like I said, somebody else said that quote, and it makes perfect sense to me. It's a great example. But myself, I'm not that, I don't think I could come up with a statement that profound. Maybe I could.
You could touch a lot of butt and never touch the same butt again.
You better be touching the same butt again.
I am.
And not multiple butts.
No, I'm a one butt kind of guy.
Okay, let's just leave it at that.
But he's living a fast life.
I really like it how he's... I love the style that he's going... I love Morgan's aesthetic in terms of his music videos, like how he places his little rap portions, and
right.
It does make it more emotional, I think.
Right.
And I'm glad to say that he is catching on. I know he's talking about, it's been since the early 2000s, why isn't he bigger? But again, good things take time, especially when they're not with major labels, which I don't necessarily ever want to see him ever. Because they really, it's like I was talking about religion. They cage you.
They neuter you.
Pretty much, yeah.
To say I don't wanna die too young. Hurry up and run from all of these problems. Gotta get away. Life is no fun. Finger on the gun. Watch it go bang, bang, bang. I don't wanna die so young, but maybe I deserve it. Should've been a better person. Wondering if it was worth it. I can't undo the things I've done. Probably should've gone to church and instead of sinning as I burst in flames. Am I too burned to save? Someone please put the fire out. Someone please put the fire out. Someone please put the fire out.
I wonder if anybody noticed the moment of terror in my eyes.
Well, if they didn't, they definitely noticed the loud bang right next to the mic. I'm so sorry, guys. But he has severe arachnophobia, and while I don't have anything around to catch and release her. I'm really sorry. I hate killing spiders. I really do. Normally I take them outside, but there was nothing to be done because it was him or her at that moment, and he was gonna crawl out of his own skin. So I do apologize. I will obviously have to clean my coffee cup after that, but at least it wasn't porcelain. At least I have these mugs.
That's how I'm gonna die. We're gonna sit here.
He's gonna have a heart attack.
Doing a reaction, and a spider's gonna pop up. I'm gonna have a heart
so
attack.
Bad.
At least you guys will have my
Proof?
death on screen.
Proof, right? I do. I feel bad, but
my eyes got big.
Yeah, I feel bad because he's talking about putting the fire out because he's burning because of his sins, and is he too burned to save? And I know that this is figurative, right? But I have such a huge problem with not him saying that, but the fact that it's become enough of a viewpoint focal idea that when you talk about having lived in the fast lane, or that you live your life outside of this very stringent religious code, that you're a sinner and you need to be saved. And I feel like as long as you stick to that, like, code in your brain that society tells you is the way it needs to be, we're always going to feel like the outsiders. We're always going to feel like there's something wrong with us. And there's not. There's not. And we need to get away from that viewpoint. I get that this is a song, guys. I get that. I'm just saying, like, there's so much that society tells us is wrong, that we grow up in a world where so many people, not the minority, think that there's something wrong with them. And then we wonder why mental health is such a struggle, and we think it's bigger than it's ever been. Now, that's hard to classify because people just didn't admit to it years ago. We didn't have a way to sort of even figure out in terms of medical disease or like a grading scale or anything like that. So we don't know that it's worse. We expect that it's worse. But, you know, how are you ever supposed to be yourself, be happy with yourself, and become a better, more mature person if society tells you that you need to live your life
a certain way,
and also, like, measuring yourself up against these expectations? So I completely understand what he's trying to say, and honestly, it's a great way to say it because everyone gets the image. But my 20 cents, because that was longer than I intended, my little rant, is there's nothing wrong with him other than this comparison of himself against who he admires or who he sees as having it all, or what society's telling him. And
sorry, and if you're wondering what I was doing on my phone, I was Googling to make sure that his actual name was Morgan, because it says Francis.
Oh, on the tag. And I've been calling him Morgan.
And I'm like,
it's Call Me
is
Karizma,
she wrong?
And you're like, what's going on?
I want to make sure she's not wrong. And yeah, it's Morgan.
Yeah, it is. That's okay.
I'll just make,
like I said, he's new. It's allowed. It's allowed.
I just wanted to make sure.
Honestly, we could probably just call him
Maybe
Riz.
it's the guy from the first Deadpool.
We could just call him Riz.
Francis.
Right. That's true.
What's my name? Oh, I'm going to spell it for you, motherfucker.
Sorry, guys. That's a good movie. We like Ryan Reynolds a lot.
Someone please put the fire out. Someone please put the fire out.
Probably could have waited the 2 seconds, but I did just smush. So, I mean, I think it's another incredible song from him. I think that's one of the things that I enjoy about his music, his journey, everything, is they're always emotional songs about mental problems.
Right.
You know, and he's just very transparent with what he's going through or has gone through, and just has a way with the wording, but also the visuals. Like, he puts his all into every production. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Again, much like the song we reacted to earlier today, I love music that gives us an opportunity to just talk about things. And this was very well done. He has a fantastic voice. Yeah. A fantastic composition that goes along with it. A fantastic message.
Even if it's not fun. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I loved it.
I do like that he doesn't try and steer towards optimism. He's not trying to give anything that's not real. Like, it's not a false sense of hope that he leaves you with. It's not a motivational message necessarily, but you are somehow motivated and feel connected because he's so real. Because that's life. Life doesn't hand you motivational quotes and just, oh, everything's going to be fine, hopeful messages. So I like that he doesn't go out of his... There are artists that are like, this has all been shit, and then the very end is like something very hopeful, just to leave it with you. And it's like, yeah, that's love the 3/4 of it, and now I'm done. So I like that he doesn't try.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so if you guys like the video, slash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Comment down below, what did you think of Call Me Karizma with Fire Out? Also, comment down below if there's anything else you guys want to see reacted to. Check the description below for all the things.
Push our buttons. Come join us on our other social media platforms, mostly Twitter if you want a quicker message. Response? I don't know, because I don't get on Twitter, so I don't respond anyway. It's going to be him.
Did you say message?
Message. Yeah, but I think I wanted response. I think that was the
response
word.
Response is where you threw me off.
Yeah, I know. I can tell.
We love you guys. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next time. Peace.